dir zu machen. Warte mal. Okay. Ich weiß nicht, wie es bei Ihnen ist zu Weihnachten. Bei mir ist immer so in der ruhigen Zeit, beginne ich dann immer ein bisschen meine Büchern zu stöbern und heuer, oder eigentlich könnte man sagen im Vorjahr, also in der letzten Weihnachtszeit, ist mir dann das Buch von Konrad Lorenz, das sogenannte Böse, in die Arme gefallen. Ich weiß nicht, wer es kennt, sagt, der Konrad Lorenz beschreibt da, er beobachtet ja sehr viele Tiere und tut aufgrund seiner Beobachtungen von den Tieren, schließt er dann auf den Menschen und auch Verhalten und wie das Böse in uns entsteht oder warum es das Böse überhaupt gibt. Sie werden sich jetzt vielleicht fragen, warum ich genau diese Geschichte jetzt erzähle, beim Tag der Lehre. Aber eigentlich passt es ganz gut. Und zwar zum Thema Interdisziplinarität oder über den Tellerrand schauen, weil, und zwar, der Konrad Lorenz selbst war ein ausgebildeter Mediziner, hat sich aber selbst auch promoviert in Medizin, hat sich aber selbst nicht als Mediziner bezeichnet, sondern als Tierpsychologe. Im Buch hat auch dieses Wechselspiel zwischen Biologie, Psychologie, Verhaltensanalyse, dafür hat er auch den Nobelpreis bekommen, also insofern denke ich mir, dieses Spannungsfeld zeigt auch, was Interdisziplinarität eigentlich sein kann. Aber jetzt zum offiziellen Teil. Mein Name ist Johann Haag, bin in der Geschäftsführung, dort für den Bereich Lehre zuständig und freue mich, Sie heute alle hier vor Ort oder online beim Tag der Lehre begrüßen zu dürfen. Das Programm wird dann von der Programmleitung vorgestellt, also insofern erlauben Sie mir, dass ich zumindest die FH St. Pölten kurz vorstelle. Ja, vor mehr als 25 Jahren haben wir mit 60 Studierenden mit einem Studiengang begonnen. Mittlerweile studieren schon knappe 4.000 Studierende in 25 Studiengängen, zahlreichen Weiterbildungslehrgängen hier an der Fachhochschule. Die Themenbereiche sind von Medien und digitale Technologien, Digital Business und Innovation, Bahntechnologie, Mobilität, Informatik, Security, Gesundheit und Soziales. Also sehr, sehr vielfältig, sehr, sehr interdisziplinär. Diese Vielfalt sehen wir auch als unsere große Stärke. Und dadurch entstehen aus unserer Sicht auch sehr viele neue Innovationen. Interdisziplinarität war für uns an der FH St. Pölten eigentlich immer sehr wichtig. Ich würde auch sagen, ist eine der DNAs, die wir haben. Und für mich ist es, glaube ich, auch wichtig, dass Interdisziplinarität funktionieren kann. Aus meiner Sicht gibt es 3 Dinge, die notwendig sind und diese 3 Dinge, glaube ich, bietet die Fachhochschule St. Pölten auch sehr gut. Das eine, die Community, das heißt, man braucht einfach auch die Menschen aus verschiedenen Fachbereichen. Das ist bei uns durch die Studiengänge per se gegeben. Das zweite, was ich glaube, ist, es braucht ein Gebäude, es braucht auch Räume, wo diese Interdisziplinarität gelebt werden kann. Ich glaube, da haben wir mit den neuen Gebäuden ganz, ganz viel geschaffen. Auf der einen Seite Flächen, wo man sich begegnet, wo man sich auch über den Weg läuft, aber auch in den Lehr- und Lernräumen, dass man sehr, sehr flexibel agieren kann, dass man flexible Seminarräume gestalten kann. Wir sind auch weg von den Hörsälen, mehr zu den flexiblen Räumen. Und das dritte, glaube ich, damit es auch funktioniert, Curricula, ist auch ein wesentlicher Teil, dass die Interdisziplinarität auch im Curricula verankert ist. Auch da sind wir sehr dran. Ich sage, Window of Opportunity, interdisziplinäre Projekte, Projektsemester. Wir haben sehr, sehr vieles im Haus. Aber ich glaube, das ist auch wichtig, dass dies auch dementsprechend passieren kann. Ja, zu einer Tagung wie heute gehören natürlich viele Vorträge und Workshops. Es gibt ganz viele Vorträge und ich möchte jetzt nur stellvertretend für alle Vortragenden und Workshopleiter eine Vortragende begrüßen, die zwar nicht im Ort ist, aber online zu uns zugeschaltet ist, die Frau Dr. Mirjam Braßler von der Uni Hamburg, hat dort als Forschungsschwerpunkt Interdisziplinarität für Lehren und Lernen. Und herzlichen Dank für Ihren Vortrag jetzt schon und Applaus von hier nach Hamburg. Für die Fachhochschule St. Pölten selbst ist so eine Veranstaltung natürlich immer ein besonderes Highlight. Stellvertretend für das ganze Team, das dahinter ist, möchte ich 2 Personen begrüßen. Einerseits die Lisa David als Leiterin von Lehre und natürlich auch den Josef Weißenböck, der noch dazu heute seinen Geburtstag feiert. Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, ob zufällig oder bewusst. wer kann schon sagen, dass man zur Geburtstagsfeier 90 Leute einlädt und die FH zahlt? Ne? Das ist ja bei unseren internen Diskussionen momentan ein großes Thema, aber gesagt, aber herzlich willkommen und danke für das Programm und auch nochmal alles Gute zum Geburtstag. Damit so eine Veranstaltung natürlich auch funktioniert, haben wir im Haus ein Service eingerichtet, Veranstaltungsmanagement. Ich sehe sie jetzt zwar nicht, aber danke auch das gesamte Team und stellvertretend die Frau Laura Hoffmann. Herzlichen Dank. Gut, ich wünsche uns allen jetzt eine spannende Konferenz, viele gute Ideen, viele Diskussionen, damit Sie inspiriert und auch wieder nach Hause gehen und übergebe an die Kollegiumsleitung. Okay. Alles Pochnick.
Yeah, good morning and welcome to the Day of Teaching and Learning. I'm the English track of the welcome address. My name is Pochnick. I'm the academic director of the University of Applied Sciences in St. Pölten. The annual University Didactic Conference of the St. Pölten University of Applied Sciences, it is an event where it is all about innovative teaching and learning, and this year it's about learning beyond the box. We face global challenges, social changes, the climate crisis, rapid technological development, the economic and societal changes. They also require universities to advance very quickly. But how can universities adapt to the changing world? This is not a new question. I think this is a permanent question, but it is also here today. And this question will be also content of today's presentations and talks. Through their core missions, teaching, research, and innovation, and through interdisciplinary and international cooperation, they play a central role in solving and approaching societal questions. Not only we, but all universities take this seriously. And we have been developing in our regular study programs, in our 6 departments, which Johann Hagers mentioned, and in our research activities, but also in our European University Alliance, UDRES, we follow several approaches and gained already quite some experiences on these issues. UDRES, a network of 9 higher education institutions located all over in Europe, we have decided in this alliance to work closely together and collaborate in the fields of research, teaching, innovation, and much more. There we also rethink the way universities operate, how they educate their students, and what they stand for to be ready for the challenges of the future holds, the future universities. And today, on our day of teaching and learning, it's time to talk about it. The program offers a stage for both success stories and exchange of challenges, hurdles, and maybe also failures in an interdisciplinary and international setting, and good practices and internationality, interdisciplinarity, and future skills. So I say also thank you to the team of University of Applied Sciences of St. Pölten for the preparation, development, implementation of the program, to the speakers who share their experience and their knowledge with us, and finally to you who are attending this conference today here and online. I wish you a very pleasant day here, that you have a good exchange, and on a personal level, that you have a successful day. Welcome and good luck for this day.
So, thank you, Johann and Alois, for your welcome addresses. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 11th day of teaching and learning here at St. Pölten, UAS. My name is Josef Bessenberg, and I'm section head higher education didactics here at St. Pölten, UAS. And I have the privilege of being the main organizer of the Day of Teaching and Learning since our first event way back then in 2012. Yes, so what can you expect from our 11th edition of the event? So next slide, please. Some new things, some traditional program elements, of course, a lot of planned things, but also some unanticipated occurrences. So I will refer to this later. What is new? According to our focus on internationalization, interdisciplinarity, and future skills, we are offering for the first time a bilingual conference with a continuous English language track throughout the entire conference all day. So we're starting after the opening with a presentation in the little assembly hall. We have 2 English workshops after lunch and 2 more in the afternoon. What are the traditional program elements? Of course, this year we have, as Alois said before, we have a keynote 2, a really good one, I have to say. The Day of Teaching and Learning is every year is strongly designed to be dialogical and interactive. So proven formats such as disc spaces, workshops, and our discussion forum will also take place this year. And once again, we are also calling for your tweets about the conference. So please be active on Twitter during the conference. So if we go on to the next slide, you see our social media hashtag. One more, please. Yes, and every year on Twitter, so a nice little conference documentation is created on this platform. So please, again, be active there. Also, a proven element of the conference is our concluding conference harvesting. What is new this time is the tool we are using to support it. We have set up a mural board where you can leave comments on each individual program element. In the final session, the harvesting at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, we will take a final look on the mural board. So yes, it also depends on our activity, and then we can have a fine live evaluation of the conference via this mural board. One more slide, please. So this is how it looks like, and you will see it's really easy to use. We have some sheets how to use it in every track, in every room, but you will see it's really easy to use. Finally, like every year, we cordially invite you to our conference chill out session at 4:30 p.m. just outside in the assembly hall near the welcome desk. So it's always a nice opportunity to have some final conversations in a relaxed atmosphere and have a few delicious drinks together. So please join us if you got time. But Now, I would like to invite the head of our new Learn department here at UAS St. Pölten, Lisa David, to the stage for some information about this new department. And she has also some interesting questions for you in the audience, I guess. So, Lisa, please come up on the stage, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. A warm welcome from my side. My name is Lisa David, and I'm head of our new unit, Learn. If you could just show us the slide with the Learn graphic on. It should be the next one. No, it's not this one. No. Yes, that's important as well, but no. Here we are. Perfect, thank you so much. So, as some of you are quite regulars at the Teaching and Learning Day here at UASTP, and therefore are part of our great network, I would like to give you a short insight into the new structures of Learn. I feel a bit guilty because some of the new ways that we are working are on me, so that's why I want to inform you on what's new and what we are planning to do and what are our new, actually our new core topics that we cover. So first, as a lot of you do, I think that's something that we share here in the room, that we accompany and support academic directors. I like that you take pictures of this, but we have a website and you find every pieces of information there. But feel free to take pictures and send them and spread them into the world. So thank you for this. Okay, so as I said, we accompany and support academic directors and teachers in the didactic methodological further development of study programs and teaching and learning arrangements. But the second main topic that we cover are those already mentioned, bless you. I had to think about it for a moment. Okay, we take care of add-on subjects. At the moment, those are selective subjects that we offer that are add-on, but we are working on integrating those offers or those opportunities. That's why we call it window of opportunity. It's a term that we already mentioned a few times today, that we are trying to integrate and find a way to do this into each and every curriculum here at UASTP. And just a small hint, we are going to have a workshop on this also today. So for those who are interested, please join us after lunch. Right, so we are also part of research projects in the departments and help with strategic decisions. For myself, I'm working very closely with Alois and Johan, and we try to cover those topics of teaching and learning and to have really high quality here and support our students to get most out of their studies. That's our common goal. Okay, so at least now you know why you don't get any emails from Skill or why there is no Skill website, and you have the reason for this. But I'm going to keep it short. I could talk about this for the whole day, but it's not our topic. We have other things to do. So I would like to organize a show of hands. Yeah, please click one slide. Yes, because otherwise maybe you get distracted. Because someone, I don't know if she's here, asked if there would be a test today, and I thought about it, and I wanted to just try out what you think of the topics that we are going to cover today, or what you already know about them. So, show of hands. Who knows the difference between multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, and transdisciplinarity? Who knows? Oh, not bad, not bad. I'm proud of you. I wouldn't have called on you anyway, but I'm happy that, yeah, that's not bad. But for those who do not know the difference or the clear-cut difference, for me it was not that clear either before I dove in and did some serious research just in case anyone asked me about it today. But we are going to talk about this today some more. So next question. Who of you works internationally? Yeah, even more. So me too. I work in different countries and with different international partners on research projects, but also on in the context of giving workshops and so on. But I ask myself, since we have this topic on our plates here, I ask myself what internationalization actually means. Is it working on an international topic in an international team? Or, I don't know, is international maybe different than intercultural? Or is it maybe the same thing? I'm not sure. And what does this mean when it comes to internationalization of our curricula? What does it mean if we are not clear and we do not have those clear-cut definitions? That's why we are here, and I hope to find some more answers. So last question. Who knows the clear-cut definition of 21st century skills? Future skills? Transversal skills? Key competencies? Okay, I have a really great coworker here. I'm really proud that you are in our team because you know all the answers. I'm happy about this. Who would say that those are all the same? With some nuances. Who actually doesn't care? Oh, we have to show 3 show of hands. Okay, I like this. Okay, but we are not here for ignoring research outcomes or not caring, but we are here for looking at topics and at our topics from different angles and search for answers. I for myself, I wish that I know more about these questions, even if the problems are not entirely solved. I wish you a lovely and worthwhile time today with a lot of valuable insights. Thank you. I have some last thing. Before I hand my mic back over, before I leave the stage, I'm not handing anything to anyone, to Sepp, to Josef, I would like to speak a few words of thank you. First, to the whole Learn team, you really all helped together to make this day possible, but especially to you, Sepp. So please just come up to the stage once again. And I would like to tell the audience that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into organizing this event, and your love for detail and enthusiasm about bringing together this community of teaching and learning in higher education is remarkable. Thank you so much, and I have something for you. This is for you. This is for you.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. But now, it is time for the first highlight of the conference, our keynote speech. I'm very pleased to announce that we were able to recruit Dr. Mirjam Braßler from the University of Hamburg to provide both fundamental and visionary remarks on our conference topics. She teaches and conducts research in the field of work and organizational psychology and has been particularly engaged in interdisciplinary teaching and learning, as well as education for sustainable development in recent years. So, 2 very important topics of our conference this year, and I'm very looking forward to her contribution. Unfortunately, our keynote speaker fell ill with COVID just before the conference, and therefore we have to perform her part via MS Teams today. However, we tested the system, one hour ago, and it should actually work, and everything hopefully will go well. So I'm very much looking forward to our keynote speak. So I think we switch to MS Teams now. And hello, good morning.
morning. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. From Hamburg. That's great. So, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Yes, a warm welcome also from my side. I'm so excited to speak to you today about a topic that is so very dear to me, which is sustainability and interdisciplinarity. I studied multiple academic disciplines. I have a bachelor degree in economics and a bachelor degree in psychology, and a master's degree in psychology and a master's degree in education. And then I thought, okay, we need to work across these academic disciplines. So I did my PhD on interdisciplinary teaching and learning. And it's so fulfilling to learn about different viewpoints every day. So it's very dear to me. And I'm so fascinated by different topics in sustainability that needs an interdisciplinary approach. So it's very convincing for me every day to see how we need these interconnections of different academic disciplines to actually solve global problems. So this topic here today is very dear to me. So I'm very excited to be here today. So what am I going to do? First of all, I would like to talk about the future we want. What are challenges of today and how can we address challenges of the future? What are themes, topics that are important to us to actually address them together with our students? And then I would like to show different pedagogies that are all future oriented. So first of all, interdisciplinary education, and then global education, so the connection of the local and the global ideas, and then sustainability education, so different themes that are related to social and economic and environmental problems that we have today and will have in the future. And then I will give you some final remarks, some take-home messages, so that you can, maybe implement some of the ideas I give you today. The future we want. To see what is the future that we want, we have to think about the challenges that we have today. So we have a lot of complex challenges, for example, migration, climate change, or even climate crisis. We see a lot of health threats. That's why I'm not here today. So we see these problems are highly complex. They need very different expertises to actually be solved. So we have to deal with this kind of complexity, with these different variables that are all interconnected. And today we work in 3 different modes in higher education. First of all, the academic mode. So it's our task to enable students to do research, to gain knowledge, to have an idea about how science works. And then we work in the innovation mode. So we are responsible that students gain employability and are able to work in a team and communicate well. And then we have the civic engagement mode, so that students learn their place in society. They have a feeling of responsibility and to see how they can engage with society and support development. All these modes profit from diversity and from diverse experiences. If we see in the academic mode, interdisciplinary research is growing fast. And in the innovation mode, we know that we are more innovative if we work in diverse teams and have different backgrounds, different ideas to actually gain something new. And if we think about civic engagement mode, also the problems, especially related to sustainability, are so complex that we need to combine different expertises from practitioners as well as academia that are highly distinct, so that you can have a holistic understanding of our problems and challenges that we need to address in society. But if we think about the future, I think it's important to take a step back and really rethink what is the future that we actually want. And so I invite you today to ask this question for yourself and think about what's important to you. What are topics that are important to you in the future? What are goals you think we should achieve as a society? What are conditions that are best for the people, for the planet? What are values that we need to address in the future? So I would like to invite you to take your mobile phone and scan the QR code so that we can see what is important to you and what is the future that you want. Yes, thank you so much for all your ideas. First and foremost, peace, inclusion, equality, respect, big topics, but also justice, empathy, a healthy environment, peace, lifelong learning. Yes, indeed. No barriers in education, social justice, fairness. Yes. Compassion, conflict resolution, interculturality, yes. Freedom. Maybe the last words. Family. Equity. Fair wage distribution, yes. Sustainability, progress. Thank you so much for your ideas and your goals. So important. If we keep these goals in mind, these ideas, these states, and these values we need for the future, it's the question of how we can teach and learn, how we can educate for the future. We need different pedagogies that support our future-oriented education. And so I have three different ones. If we think about your goal of peace, of justice, these topics address so many academic disciplines and so many different ideas we have, or results that we can support these questions with in our research, that we can work across academic disciplines. So first of all, I would like to address interdisciplinary education. So we always talk about interdisciplinary education, but what does it actually mean? It means it describes a process by which learners integrate information, data, techniques, tools, perspectives, concepts, or theories from two or more disciplines to craft products, explain phenomena, or solve problems. And this in a way that could not have been done with only one academic discipline. So it's important that we need each other to actually gain these novel ideas, to actually solve problems. So we need each other. That's important. That's a condition for interdisciplinarity. But if we think about interdisciplinarity, and Dr. David also talked about the different ideas about multi-interdisciplinarity, and many of you already know, I love it. But for the others, I would like to give a few definitions. First of all, multidisciplinarity. Multidisciplinarity describes a working style from academics that are stemming from different academic disciplines, but they work maybe on one theme together, but they work side by side, next to each other. Their work is not interconnected. So maybe at the beginning of the project, they come together, and then everyone goes into his or her room and works with his or her methods and to get results within one academic discipline. Maybe at the end of a project, you come together and you exchange your ideas, but there's no real integration of your ideas and your methods. This is in interdisciplinarity finally the case. So in interdisciplinarity, we have academics stemming from different disciplines who work together in each step of the process. So first of all, by defining a problem that everyone is interested in, or defining tasks, or defining a question, and then the process also is highly interconnected, highly integrated. So you combine methods, you combine working styles to actually achieve something new together. And then the result is actually an integrated result, a real interdisciplinary result, a new idea that could not have been achieved by only one academic discipline. So interdisciplinarity is in each step of the way highly integrated. And then we have transdisciplinarity, which is quite familiar to interdisciplinarity, with one exception, because academics work together with practitioners from the society. Mostly this working style is addressed when working on sustainability problems, and the aim is to transform society, so with the transforming aspect of the work together. But it's also academics stemming from different academic fields, working together with practitioners who have the practical knowledge. So we have to combine these different fields of knowledge, also highly integrative. Yes, this is important to keep in mind, to also separate different process styles within complex team processes. When you want to implement interdisciplinary education, it's important to look at the results from research, how to implement successfully. And first of all, it's important to find topics in higher education that are very complex, so that these problems address different academic disciplines, so that each of the students feel addressed and involved and appreciated and seen, so that everybody has a feeling of actually being able to contribute something. And then it's important to have a long formation phase at the beginning so that students really can get to know each other first before working together. It's important that you have an idea where the other person comes from, what are beliefs, what are values, what are main areas of expertise, of knowledge, and what are the main methods, so that students have an idea who the others are. And you need to train interdisciplinary communication because we speak highly distinct languages, and we have to adapt our communication style to actually understand the other person. And then it's important to implement small steps in the interdisciplinary learning process, and a lot of reflection. So interdisciplinary problem-based learning with different steps, exchanging multidisciplinary ideas, interdisciplinary ideas, is actually superior to problem-based learning, because problem-based learning is highly prone to conflict. Students work on a project and see a lot of conflict because of different communication styles, different ideas, different values, different belief systems. So it's better to work with small iterative steps in problem-based learning. What is the power of interdisciplinary education? It is interdisciplinary competence development, and we see this by research measuring before interdisciplinary learning and after interdisciplinary learning, and we see that students actually gain understanding of different discipline-based perspectives, so they have an idea about different areas of knowledge, different methods, different ideas where the other person comes from, and we see that students are able to integrate this areas of knowledge by identifying similarities and differences across the academic disciplines, and to reflect their interdisciplinary learning and working style. So they have an idea of boundaries within the academic discipline. They know what they can do and what they can't. So it's very important to appreciate other academic disciplines in the interdisciplinary learning environment. So reflection and reflective behavior, we see an increase, which is highly important for interdisciplinary teamwork after our study. Now it's your turn. I would like to activate your interdisciplinary competence. Please have a look to the left, to the right, and find a neighbor. So think about interdisciplinary education for the future we want. You just define what you want. You want peace, you want justice, you want sustainability. How can your academic discipline contribute to the future that we want? Please have a talk for 3 minutes. Yes, so thank you so much for participating. I've seen that you have been quite active in talking together with your neighbor. Thank you so much. I would like to continue with our next future-oriented pedagogy. To address the future that we want. It's global education, more precisely global citizenship education. And it aims to empower learners of all ages, and students of course, to assume active roles both in locally and globally in building more peaceful, tolerant, inclusive, and more secure society. These are very important aspects you already talked about or brainstormed about: peace, tolerance, inclusiveness, and global citizenship education also supports awareness, caring, embracing cultural diversity by promoting social justice, sustainability, and supports students in developing a sense of the responsibility to act and design our future. How can we achieve that? What does the research say so far? What are the best strategies? First of all, we should choose topics that are related to universal values. So maybe different aspects of human rights, of equality, of safety. And we can implement different methods of perspective taking so that we have an idea about other cultures, about other nations, about other belief systems, about different religions, of course, gender, age, different abilities. So we have an idea where the other person comes from. And we can implement global learning, which means that we enable students to think about the connection of their local actions and their global consequences. So if I buy a t-shirt here, what is the consequence on the global level? Where is the t-shirt produced, for example? And we can also implement case-based learning, historical cases of social injustice. So if we see back what has happened, we can learn for today and for the future. And we can also implement action learning for political participation so that students are able to participate in campaigns, go to protests, or write an opinion letter to local media to actually engage in designing our society and to design our future. These are the main important strategies supported by science. And what is the power of global citizenship education? It is the development in students' social responsibility. That means that they have an idea about justice and injustice, disparities, so they can develop altruism, empathy. These are main important goals you defined before. This all means social responsibility, and to have an idea about the personal responsibility that you actually can support and can change the world. And it's also about global competence, so that you have an idea of intercultural communication. You are able to adapt to different cultures, understand different cultures, and have global knowledge so that you know what is happening in the world. And to support students in their global civic engagement, which means that you are actually involved in civic organizations to use your political voice to actually speak your mind and to engage in volunteer work, for example. So we see that social responsibility, global competence, and global civic engagement can be increased through global citizenship education. And now I would like to ask you again to think about your role in designing the future we want. If you think about where you are right now and where you work, how can you in your higher education institutions in your country contribute to the future we want? 3 minutes. Yes, please, the last sentences, the last ideas. Come back. Thank you so much for participating. I've seen again that you are very active. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to talk about the last pedagogy, which is important for future-oriented education. Which is sustainability education. So what does this mean? Education for sustainable developments means including key sustainable development issues into teaching and learning in higher education. For example, climate change, disaster risk reduction, biodiversity, poverty reduction, sustainable consumption again. It also requires to empower learners to change their behavior and take action for actual sustainable development. So we implement topics, but also different possibilities to act. So what is best? What does the research say? What are teaching styles that support students in education for sustainable development? First of all, we should choose topics that address all dimensions of sustainability. So a social dimension, environmental dimension, an economic dimension. So we have to choose topics that are highly interconnected. For example, if we choose the topic of water, water is a limited resource. So we have the environmental dimension, but also everybody needs to have access to water because water is a human need, and some would even say a human right in the social dimension. And then, but also, water is property. So it's also a necessity in production. So it's also an economic dimension within water allocation. So we see that we have to think about our different academic disciplines and how we can address or choose topics in education that are highly linked through environmental, social, and economic dimensions. Again, it's about complexity. And for the teaching styles, we can implement 3H, which means that we implement learning with head, heart, and hands. So it's about cognitive learning, so we gain knowledge, but at the same time, affective learning. So we have an idea about different values, about decision-making, about empathy, and then hands, so that we are able to actually tackle problems of sustainability and address them and actually be active and change. So we have these 3 dimensions of learning holistically. And then we should implement problem and project-based learning. Project-based learning is the most commonly used method in education for sustainable development, and one of the most effective, but problem-based learning also. And we should implement participatory learning so that students can decide on their own learning experience and choose what they address in education for sustainable development, as well as service learning, so that students actually engage in civic engagement, find local communities, local possibilities to address different themes of sustainability within their surroundings, to learn and support the communities and to learn from each other. So it's the connection, a lot of transdisciplinary work across academia and practitioners to work across these different fields of expertise. These strategies are most effective. And is it powerful? Yes. Sustainability education and its power. We see a lot of outcomes in research. We have 2 different fields of analyzing and doing empirical research on education for sustainable development. The more traditional part analyzes sustainability knowledge, attitudes, perception, and behavior. And we see that education for sustainable development supports students' knowledge development and their actual sustainable behaviors. So, for example, sustainable consumption or behaviors within their homes or without discrimination, for example, or being active and really do waste reduction, for example. And so we see they have an increase in knowledge and an increase of sustainable behaviors. Attitudes are normally before they learn in education for sustainable development, they are already quite high. But we also see that there is a gap between knowledge and behaviors. So we know what we should do, but we don't. So it's important that students learn in education for sustainable development how they can do, so that we actually see an increase in sustainable behaviors. Another part of research is competence-oriented. We see action competence. This describes that we see a potential to act. So we have an idea, oh, here I can do something. And then we have the willingness to act, and then we have the act itself, so that we do when we see something. We see a high increase in action competence in students through education for sustainable development. And now we have two sets of competences, shaping competence and key competencies. These are frameworks, so it's more theoretical, and we don't have the empirical evidence yet. But we see that students engage in shaping competence. So this is a mixture of different competences. And most foremost, more in the present research, we think about a framework that combines different ideas or different skills. For example, problem solving as the main competence, which is a combination of system thinking, so that you have an idea about how the system works or how are consequences and origins. And then we have value thinking competence, so you have an idea about different values and that direct your thinking process. And future thinking, this is about anticipating certain needs and processes. And strategic thinking, so that you have an idea how to adapt or how to create something new. But also, and this is interesting, also interpersonal competences for sustainability. So it's also about about communication, about collaboration, adapting to different ideas. Yes, so we see an increase most in sustainability knowledge, sustainable behaviors, and action competence. And now you already know, it's your turn. Let's talk about sustainability. You mentioned sustainability as one part of the future that you want. What is your passion? What is your view on sustainability? How can you contribute to a sustainable future that we want? perspective and are interconnected on a local and a global level. And sustainability problems, again, are also addressing many different academic disciplines. So we need interdisciplinary education to support sustainability education and to actually address problems of on the global level. And we also need an interdisciplinary approach. So you see, all these educational models are highly interconnected. We also have to address sustainability, but at the same time on a global level, and was foremost also in an interdisciplinary, interconnected way with different expertises from different academic disciplines. All these pedagogies have similarities in the sense that they all address empowerment. So we have to activate our students so that they actually can design future and experience designing future. And all pedagogies have in common that it's about respecting diverse perspectives. It is about respecting different discipline-based perspectives. So we have different ideas about the world in different areas of academia, but at the same time, diverse perspectives regarding our global north or our global south, different understandings regarding sustainability, about our different passions within the context of sustainability. So we have to respect and maybe even appreciate diverse perspectives that we have. And it's all about learning through experience, to be actually able to combine different ideas across disciplines, to actually experiencing interdisciplinarity, to actually experiencing connecting and collaborating with practitioners, and to be actually involved in different sustainability related projects and design the future. So it's also about learning by actually doing. But there's also criticism and challenges. The highest point of critique is always that this is a normative approach. We say, what are the main competences of the future? And we say that different values should be implemented in education. So this is a discrepancy for value freedom, or the value-free principle or idea that we have in science. So this is a point where everybody has to find his or her position. It is normative, but at the same time, it is the future we want. You said it. You want peace. You want inclusion. You want justice. But it's normative. So we have to keep that in mind. And for me personally, it is that students gain the freedom to decide on their own what is important to them, what is important for their future, and to be always interconnected and in communication about our goals that we want to achieve together. And then one important aspect is that educators as well as students experience challenges with a shift towards future-oriented education. It is a change in roles of students and educators, because educators can't know everything in every academic discipline, or they can't know everything that's going to happen in the future or anticipate that. So it's a leveling playing field. And we as educators get in the role of a coach, of a facilitator, of a supporter in competence development, while students engage in the actual work. But this means that educators often feel a feeling of loss of control and to actually have to address these additional workloads. So we see a little bit of resistance to engage in future-oriented education design. And for the students also, it is new to have this active role, and it's new and can be unfamiliar and maybe even disturbing, or we see in research that they are sometimes even frightened. So there's a big need of reassurance that they actually can do in higher education. And they experience, of course, especially in interdisciplinarity, a lot of conflict, and so they need our support in communicating well across disciplines and work with little steps towards a common idea. And research again, more empirical research is needed. We need to find out more about the effectiveness of different pedagogies and about the interrelations of these different pedagogies and different teaching styles. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we can all learn from each other. So I would like to invite you for the last minutes to reflect future-oriented research or education. So maybe you have questions for me. Maybe we'd like to share experience or express ideas. I'm open and I'm excited to see and to hear what you think.
Thank you very, very much, Mirjam Braßler, for your contribution. Thank you very much. And yes, what are your remarks, questions, ideas to these very important impulses we just got from this keynote? I see all hands are going up. We need another show of hands to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So at your university, what is really implemented in the sense of education for sustainable development? Is there one fantastic example you can give us as an inspiration, how it was possible in your university to do that, what you told us? Yeah, time lag. Okay. Oh, freeze. It's a nice phrase. Okay. So we will ask her these questions afterwards and put it to our documentation. We have a lot of formats now upcoming where you have a lot of possibilities to discuss and to bring in your ideas. And I kindly ask you to use our mural, to put in your remarks, your ideas, your questions, your findings in literature and examples. Of course, you're also invited to tweet or to use Mastodon to tell the world about what you've learned. So please go in every room you find the link to our mural, and please in all the sessions bring in. And another important thing, if you haven't done so, please go to the registration and put your signature there, because we have to document that you have been here for matters of European Union bureaucracy. And yes, so your signature is money for us, so please. So yes. Yeah, we are going to have a short break now, and afterwards going to the different sessions. If you have any questions about finding your room, please come to the desk and we help you to find your room, your place, your be. Have a wonderful conference. All the best for you. Thank you very much.